Pigweed here. Today we review a blonde ale and wonder, how did New York get an Islamist Marxist mayor? Okay, good evening,
good evening there, Pigweed. How's it going? How about some beer and conversation?
That's a great idea. What are we drinking?
So this is a blonde ale with orange.
With and named?
Beer named Oriole. All right, from the beer farm.
Explains
Local guys.
the orange.
Very
All
good.
right, so what's on your mind?
Well, so we have this guy going in New York who seems like he's a nightmare.
And came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real political background. We think, when you think of all the mayors, well, they have long political careers before you get to be the mayor of the most important city in the country.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing. New York City is the most important city in America, maybe in the world.
I mean, consider this guy's background. If he took Pete Buttigieg's job in South Bend, Indiana, you'd wonder how that happened.
Yeah. So, and the guy has crazy views. So, how did this happen?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. But this is Beer Farm, which is local. It's out in it's out in Howard County or something.
Yeah.
And it's got an Oriole on it. The can's orange, like the Oriole bird, like the Oriole baseball team.
Yep.
And it says there's actual orange flavors in the beer.
That's
you
right.
Getting some of those?
I am. It's an interesting beer. It's so blonde ales are usually pretty light in terms of hops and everything.
Yeah.
But this has got a definite citrus tartness to it.
Sure does.
Yeah.
It's, what do you got here? 4.5. Fermented on orange zest. It took me a while to, you know what, it might have, no, it wasn't this beer, but there's another beer like this that I figured out how to get orange in a beer. I tried, putting it in the, in the boil. Like that dried, and it didn't really give me much. And then it said
dry hopped on
ferment. You put it, like after initial fermentation,
right?
You just zest. You get a bunch of onions and
onions. That'd be good.
Wouldn't that be delicious?
I mean, it's just,
and then you just zest the outside of them.
Did you read The Joy of Home Brewing by Papazian?
Yes.
There's a recipe in there for cock ale, where you stick like a chicken in the beer. Yeah, I don't know, a little crazy. That's when you talked about onions. Something a chicken and some onions and some garlic. Yeah, not really in the beer. All right, so
Zohran
Zoltar.
No. That's what is that from? Oh yeah, that's
Big.
That's Big. Yeah, that's the I can't hear his name without thinking of the fortune teller.
Yeah. Who did the magic on
I granted him,
right.
You granted one wish. I want to be big. Oh, that was fun. So, all right, let's just do a little bio on the guy. First off, he's not very old.
No, he was born in 1991.
Yeah.
In Uganda.
So he's 34. He's in Uganda, but he's of Indian descent. And what's up with that? I mean, how many Indians are in Uganda?
Apparently, there's a decent population, like 30 to 40,000 Indians in Uganda.
There you go.
All right.
But he wasn't really raised there, right? He was raised in
South Africa and then the U.S.
and then
Queens. went to. So he presents himself as this, friend of the poor and the oppressed.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a child of rich people who went to fancy schools.
Yes.
A lot of these liberals,
limousine liberal,
Right. Yeah. So he also was a rapper. I heard one of his. Now, I don't like rap to begin with, so this isn't maybe very telling, but when I heard his rap song, I was like, who in the world would, gosh, that's terrible.
Well, so it apparently didn't take off.
Yeah.
And so he
decided to go into politics instead.
And, I thought that he was a New York City councilman from Queens, but I was wrong. It turns out he was what? An assemblyman.
Yes.
So the state...
And the youngest mayor in New York City.
Jeez.
And the first Muslim mayor.
Never forget.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Right, exactly. The New York City, the city that was attacked by Muslims, elects a Muslim mayor.
And our response to that is then to flood the country with Muslims from the region.
Yeah.
with
there is
Afghanis, and then elect a Muslim mayor to.
There is some deeply suicidal impulse in the West that I just do not understand. It's very,
and
very,
listen to this for demographics.
Yeah.
78% of voters aged 18 to 29. What kind of brain rot is going on?
Well, it's because the school system has been hijacked by lunatics.
And of course, they're actually post 9/11, so they didn't even know it had happened. Yes, and let me see what else. And how about this? 30 and more than 30% of the Jewish vote. In the largest Jewish concentration in the country is probably New York City.
The Jewish vote is a total mystery to me. I don't understand why Jews vote so far to the left, because it doesn't.
And the Democratic Party basically hates Israel.
Yeah.
And they're all Democrats.
Well, I guess part of it is, being Jewish doesn't necessarily mean that you support Israel. So there's that. But
the only ones the Jews that don't support Israel are the extreme right Jews who probably don't even vote, with the funny hats and all that. Mm-hmm. So not just your average semi-secular.
Yeah.
Jew. I think they go to Israel and go to concerts and hope that Hamas doesn't come in paragliders and murder everybody.
So aside from his very punchable face, what do you have against this guy?
I guess how about his inaugural address?
Okay.
There it is, on a cold, frigid day, he pledges to replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't make you chill to the bone,
yes,
I don't know what to tell you.
The warmth of collectivism. All these people in collectivist societies who don't have a piece of coal to burn to be warm, right?
Yes, because they're in gulags in Siberia.
That's right. Yeah,
freezing their collective butts off.
Yes, I guess it's warm in Cuba, but collectivism does not.
I just can't imagine putting that on paper and with your speechwriter and going, yeah, that's a real zinger there.
Yeah,
that's a banger.
Yeah. So there's something about this guy, and he fits in with a lot of the liberal narrative, which is that the rich are the bad guys and the poor are the good guys, and we need to transfer wealth from the rich to the poor. It's Robin Hood, basically. But his means of doing that is to tax the rich, not realizing that they'll just leave New York. So he's been proposing these millionaire taxes and billionaire taxes and so on, and then going to exchange that for universal free services, free buses, free grocery stores.
Right. So the free buses has already failed.
Yeah. Did you know the free grocery store? It's going to take 3 years to build, and he recently came out and said, "You better start getting in line now."
Yeah. Well. It's not free, but the food's going to be so much cheaper because once you take out that evil profit motive, you have a fully functioning grocery store without that mean 3% profit margin.
I know. Most people don't realize how slim the margins are in grocery stores. It's a very, very slim margin.
And apparently Aldi's spends about $3 million to build one from the ground. Mm-hmm. And they have and Mamdani's budget is, he wants 5 of them, one in each borough.
Okay.
$60 million.
Okay.
For 5.
Why not just ask Aldi to build it?
But the first one is costing $30 million.
Of course.
So in socialist math, you build one for $30 million, and then you build the other 4 with the other $30 million.
Yeah.
You know how that's going to
work. Yeah, of course, there's always overruns.
And then, of course, you provide excellent service and excellent goods and products when nobody is making anything.
Right.
So I mean, this thing is a failure, and it's 3 years from being built.
It's a failure already.
And they're not building it. They're renovating an existing building. So, and it's next to Costco. So, this is such a joke. I mean, there's so many punchlines here.
I know.
I'm sure Jimmy Kimmel and all those late night guys are going to be killing him for.
Mm-hmm.
Or
sure.
You know how they love to take down those Democrat politicians.
Well, I've never watched Jimmy Kimmel.
No, me neither.
But my understanding is that he never ever attacks Democrats on anything. So what about Mamdani saying there's no problem too big for government to solve and no problem too small for it to care about? That was the scariest thing.
That's the quote I wanted to find. Thank you for finding that.
Yes, it's horrifying. There's no problem too small for government to care about. Okay, so like you're worried about the bushes in my front yard? I mean, what is that?
No, there's no aspect of your life
that government
should not be involved in.
Exactly.
Is what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're going to be telling me
what
like what to plant in my vegetable garden? Is that like
because government? So that's why he needs all the extra money to grow the government. However, what you said before about the taxes, there's a sense that he's not saying I have these programs and that are going to be super beneficial. So everybody's lives are going to be so much better. I just need some extra money, so I'm going to tax the rich. It sounds like a certain amount of glee simply in taxing the rich.
Of course, it's really not a question.
It's like revenge.
Yes, it's really not a question of how much money are we going to get from the rich. It's a question of they deserve it. Let's stick it to them.
How can we punish them?
Yes.
But of course,
because of the Marxist attitude, which is if you're rich, you got there by oppressing people.
Yes, and so you must pay.
Right.
So he's going to ask the people who are considering leaving. I'll ask those who make the most amount of money to pay a little more so that everyone can stay in this city. After he sees people leaving, apparently, I mean, you could imagine when Detroit at its heyday, it benefited all of the automakers to be in the same place.
Yeah.
Right? So you bring in all the raw materials and all the tires and whatever.
Right.
You got the same workers and engineers and whatever. What is the real benefit at this point of having financial institutions clustered on Wall Street?
None.
Or on one location?
The only benefit is that
they like the lifestyle.
They like the lifestyle, or if you're going to be hiring people, you have a pool of talented people in that area.
But so apparently they're with AI, they're not hiring any entry-level people in finance anyway.
Yeah.
And so now they're all looking to Dallas.
Yeah.
And Palm Beach.
Sure.
And I mean, why?
There's no reason to be there.
Like that, they're out there waving their little tags on the. You know what I mean? On Wall Street? Like
yeah.
Right. Are they even doing that anymore? Or
I don't know. It's been a bit since I've been there. So. Yeah. But so New York is facing problems like every big city. The question is, why should I be in a big city? I could live out in the country and just work remotely on my computer. Like there's really no purpose for being there anymore. But
New York it is. I mean, it is a very energetic and special place.
It is.
But I mean, as far as I can tell, the quality of life is going down.
Oh, he's doing everything he can to ruin it, because when you get rid of the rich people, then what are you going to have? Right? You're going to import a bunch of immigrants. You're going to import a bunch of poor people. You're going to get rid of the rich people. You're not going to have as much of a tax base. You're not going to be able to provide
and then
as many
you're going to
services.
Increase the taxes on whoever's left, and to make up for the tax money that's leaving.
All the productive people are going to leave because they can. And the people who can't leave are going to be stuck in a less productive, But
the people, the people, you're talking about the big fancy people, but the people at the bottom, they'll be okay because he's looking at a 30-hour minimum wage.
Oh.
So I think that's
$30 minimum wage, yeah.
What did I say, 30 hour?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way, all the struggling people will now be rich,
because it won't cause inflation at all. Yeah,
and it won't ruin businesses, and it won't. It'll work out just great.
I don't understand how people cannot get the idea that if all of a sudden you increase everybody's wage to $30, whatever it is, $15, $20, $30 an hour, that's not just going to make everything more expensive. Like, how do you not get that? I don't understand. Like, how do you get inside the head of a lunatic? It's hard to do.
Yeah. So you keep pushing out the tax base.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to socialism,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I can't imagine.
Escape
It's
from
also
New
going to
York.
be, the trans sanctuary. He's also got this massive fund so that he can trans the children.
Oh.
That's great. 3 buses. Somehow it's already going out. The woman that he put in charge of housing has said that private ownership of property is white supremacy.
Of course.
So that's how that's going to go. That's going to be helpful.
Anything I don't like is white supremacy. That's the thing. So he's going to freeze rent. That never works.
It's all right. I mean, all those rent freezing, rent control is already a disaster. He wants to extend it.
Universal child care. And
they're paying this, but they're not even paying market price. It's like the government will pay, $400 a day for an illegal immigrant's child. Well, from where? Where are you getting this money?
Well, it's other people's money.
Well, it is other
until you run out of other people's money.
Okay, did you hear his response to that? He had a zinger.
Yeah.
Oh, he came back and hit hard.
Okay.
On that one. He says, "I've thought often of the Margaret Thatcher quote.
Yeah.
The problem with I can't believe he would say this because that reminded people that what a
amazing person.
Amazing quote that was. The problem with socialism that you eventually run out of other people's money. If anything, my friends, it seems that you eventually need a socialist to clean up the mess."
What?
How's that?
How does that answer the question?
Because
you need a socialist to clean up the mess, but they have no money because you've run out of other people's money. So what are you going to clean it up with?
I'm just telling you, how he stuck it to old Maggie.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure she's rolling in her grave, wondering, is she dead?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So he's flirting with this social ownership kind of stuff. The idea that you're going to promote wealth by having social ownership of property rather than individual right. I mean, come on. These are failed economic policies that have never worked anywhere in the world, and you're going to think you're going to revive New York City by doing this.
Right. They're going to limit people's ability to sell unless they sell it to the city, and the city is going to take that, and then they're going to manage the property, and it's going to be so awesome.
Right.
It's going to. I mean, it's going to
because markets always do so much better when the government comes in and messes with them. Now, actually, there's a little bit of truth to that regulated markets actually do well. There's an ideal balance between a free market and a regulated market, and so there needs to be some regulation. But this Mamdani goes I still can't get this right. Mamdani.
All right, so what? Let's think about this here.
Right.
So Florida's entire budget is $117 billion.
Okay.
New York's is $116 billion, just a 1% difference. Right. Florida has 8.48 million people, and New York has 23.3 million people. What is all this money doing? And it's not nearly enough because he needs way more money than what they have now. In New York, in Florida,
I think maybe you said that backwards. New York has 1/3 as many people.
Yes.
As Florida.
I mean, no, that's 3 times as many people in the same budget.
Florida has 3 times as many, right? Has 3 times fewer residents than Florida. New York City has 3 times fewer residents than Florida, but a comparable budget. So Florida is able to govern 3 times as many people for the amount of money that New York City can govern.
With no income tax.
Right.
And they're putting on the table now is no property tax.
Wow.
I don't know what's
where are they getting their money
sales
from?
tax they have.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So, but we're trying to apply facts and logic and numbers to something that has nothing to do with that. It's just ideology and the leftism that he learned from his privileged parents.
Exactly. I mean, you can imagine does he have brothers and sisters in this thing? It's just the three of them sitting around talking about Marxism on every meal, while enjoying the benefits of capitalism and their
right. Yeah.
This is.
And apparently,
this is
another
his
way to
person.
judge somebody is by his appointments.
Yeah.
Apparently, most of his appointments have been left-wing lunatics.
Yeah, like the girl with the white supremacy housing lady.
Is that Evrim Agachi? Is that the one? Some of them are pretty crazy. He wants to turn it into a sanctuary city, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
And listen, because money is whatever. It's just whatever. It's not important where we're going to get the money from. It's important what we say we're going to do with it. Collectivism
rather than rugged individualism.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy's understood the word rugged ever in his life. Just looking at him.
He looks so soft.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, you know what? There actually was a picture of him.
About him trying to bench press 50 pounds or something? Yeah. Right. And he couldn't do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's already becoming a problem.
Yeah.
Now, the
100 days
good
into,
news,
so he's already failed on his free buses and his promise of free everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have. There are some limits to what you can do in a city to the governor. You can't just govern your city as if you're independent of the state.
Right.
So, you need permission from not just the governor, but the state legislature to do certain things.
And that's a good. That's a good thing.
That's
He's not the king of New York City, so that's great. But so far, I'm. It's a catastrophe, and it's only going to get worse unless somebody stands up to him and just says, "No, sorry, loser, you're not going to do these things that you want to do."
I mean, I can't imagine that he's just going to be able to that there are enough people. There are some sensible people on the city council that's just going, "Well, we're not doing this."
You would think that if any place in the world, you would have some sensible people in New York.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean they run on business. That's their thing. The whole city is built around financing business.
Right, and they say, "Do you realize everyone's leaving?" I mean, once J.P. Morgan and it's like, will that be enough to wake you up?
No.
Well, you know what they want to do? They want to do. Well, Canada's already has a $500,000 exit fee.
What's an exit fee? What do you
to move to take your business to the United States? So
how can they charge you a fee to leave?
It's basically New Yorkers talking about it. This is the Berlin Wall, right? You have to build walls to keep people in. Shouldn't that tell you something about your own policies?
Yeah, I think mortar is the same way. The walls were built to keep people in, not to keep people.
Yeah, and so that's what you're getting in. That's what New York is thinking about. That's what California's hemorrhaging.
Right.
They're talking about the ability
we're going to make it miserable for you, and then we're going to charge you to leave.
Yes, you have to pay a tax. I mean, how would that even work?
Yeah.
Like once you've left, you still have to pay tax after you've left.
I don't understand how that's even legal or possible.
It's probably not. It's something that they'll try to do, and then it'll work its way through the courts. And
probably not.
You can't do that.
All right. So I guess the verdict is this guy. We knew he was a loser.
Right. Let's just talk about his face.
Let's talk about his face.
This grin that's on his when he smiles into the camera, it's possible that I just dislike the guy, and I'm projecting the smug, smarmy.
Yeah. Don't
turn your back on me. The guy who'll stab you with a smile on his face.
Right.
It looks like that smile.
It does.
And to me, that smile is. This face is the poster child of the 4 terrible forces that will ruin New York.
Okay.
And will eventually bring down Western civilization.
All right. Let me hear them. With 4 forces. All right.
The 4 forces: socialism.
Yeah.
Islamism.
Right.
Racial grievance.
Right.
And envy.
Okay. That's true. All 4.
And it's here, and it's also in. That could be the death of Europe.
Maybe he should just get that tattooed on his forehead.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He would probably embrace all of those.
Yeah.
He would probably be like, well, yeah. And I'm not sure how you're going to square the Islamism with your trans sanctuary.
Well, come on. That's...
right? I mean, how do you even...
I know.
Like you're the super gay pride.
You ask these trans people whether they prefer America or an Islamic country.
I'd rather be in Gaza right now.
I'd rather be in Islamic. You realize they would throw you off a building.
But he's got to know more than that.
I don't know. I don't know what people know anymore, because there are times when you say you can't be as stupid as the words that are coming out of your mouth, but But I mean, how can he take the oath of office on a Quran, host these Ramadan things sitting on a rug in your socks, and then be super pro LGBT trans sanctuary guy? Because it plays well with the idiots who support him.
All right. Well, I keep thinking, I'm sure during the rise of Hitler, I hate, what is it called? Ad Hitlerum? Reducto ad Hitlerium.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Everybody I dislagree with is Hitler. Yes.
Every conversation eventually comes down to.
Yes.
I'm sure that there were plenty of people, intelligent people, going, "Oh gosh, this Hitler guy,
Yeah.
Seriously, this thing's going to run its course."
I think that is a problem among sensible people. Sensible people say it really can't be as bad as you're saying,
yes.
And it's impossible.
I think you're not panicking enough.
Yes, yes. Sensible people say, look, it can't be that bad. The guy can't be that. And
I mean, it's New York. We chew up and spit out mayors all the time.
Yeah, but the reality is, I'm sorry, it really is that bad.
Sometimes
it is that bad.
It is that bad.
Yeah. And they've been playing off that. They've been playing off that psychological desire to not see how bad things are, to sneak in worse and worse stuff.
And that's
this guy.
And that's how you get 80% of young people to go, "Yay, free stuff!"
Yeah, yay, free stuff.
All right. Well, this is to look. New York is. It's got to be. It's too smart and too tough to let this guy ruin it.
This weak guy who can't bench press 50 pounds, and he looks like you want to punch him.
Right. We'll need a new punchable face. Well, yeah. I mean, is there a Rudy Giuliani around the corner? Well,
There's got to be. There's got to be. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to like this video and share it with your friends.